So let's start recording. So we talked about today we'll be talking about, which is our day 5, design software proficiency part 1 in CorelDRAW. So in-depth exploration of CorelDRAW. So all the tools we have not really touched, we're going to touch them, like we're going to explore all our powers, few of them. And so most people don't know how powerful CorelDRAW is, right? Although most times some people like to make fun of it, right? So I think it's one of the best vector-based software. In fact, most of the software you are seeing today take one or two things from CorelDRAW. You can check Adobe Illustrator. They are looking like similar like CorelDRAW or even Affinity. Alright, so it's a very powerful tool that if you learn it, you'll be able to create whatever thing you want. Alright. So CorelDRAW is a robust vector-based design software. As you all know, it's perfect for creating scalable, high-quality graphics and illustrations. So here's a detailed breakdown of what we'll cover. So we'll be covering creating vector graphics. So what are vector graphics? Vector graphics are made up of parts defined by mathematical equations rather than pixels, right? So we know pictures are made of pixels, but vector images are made up of what? Mathematical equations, just like this. So if I draw a box, you are seeing the measurement here, 12 by 13, x axis and y axis, the measurement on like a graph, the measurement of the screen, and so on and so forth, the size of the airline. So that's what vector graphics are made up of. But so when we now export these designs, they now become pictures, right? They are now pixelated, right? So vector graphics are made up of stuff like that. So this means you can scale them up or down without losing quality. For example, when you create a logo in CorelDRAW, right, you can use it for a business card or a billboard without any loss of clarity, right? So you can have a bottle of Pepsi and you're seeing the Pepsi logo on the bottle, right? Then you see on a very big billboard the same Pepsi logo. Now, why they did not lose quality is because the logo that was placed, the designer used a vector based of that particular design. If he had used a picture instead, when they enlarge it, it's going to lose quality. All right. So without losing quality, for example, when you create a logo, like we said, on a business card or on a billboard, so we'll start by creating vector shapes like rectangles, circles, and polygons. Then we'll combine these shapes to build a simple logo later on. All right. So I said that there's some stuff I've not taught you guys already. Though I've taught you how to draw lines, but we have not done more lines, right? So there's a whole lot to just drawing a simple line. So here's our freehand tool. So let's say to draw a straight line, we know that this is our freehand tool. You can draw a straight line with it, right? So I say when you're drawing a line, it's just to left click and then drag your mouse and tap, and you have the line. But that line is not that straight. So if you want to draw like a more straight line, you click on Control and tap and move your mouse, right? And then you have a very straight line. All right. Now you can use this same style to draw like zigzag lines, but this time you have to connect the nodes, right? So you tap and you keep tapping until you are done, just like tap, swap, tapping. You just keep tapping until you become a millionaire one day. All right. So you keep tapping, moving it up and down, moving it up and down. So something like this is also a vector. All right, is a vector. So we have drawn the line. Now this freehand tool, the reason why it's wonderful is because it can draw straight line, it can draw zigzag line, it can also draw random lines, right? So you can even say, okay, you want to use it for like signature, right? Depending on how good you are with the tool. All right. So you saw that when we were drawing the zigzag line, we have to like tap, drag the mouse, tap again, and tap, keep on tapping until you're done. But now let's say we want to draw like a curvy line. So this time around, you won't just tap and remove your hand from the left click. You would have to hold the left click down. So when you tap down, you move your mouse as if you're drawing, as if you're holding a pen. You won't remove your hand until you are done. Alright, so you keep going that way keep going, keep going, keep going, keep keep. Right? So you can use the pen tool, the freehand tool, to draw whatever kind of line you want. Now this line, if you look at them, default it is 0.5 points airline. Alright, so we can increase the airline to like 8.0 using this part, right? So that we can see it better. Alright, now lines don't only end here. Now let's say I'll duplicate this line. We want to have like dotted lines. Alright, so let's say we want to have like dotted lines. So if at this part we have line style, so if I should click on line style, it opens up. There's a whole lot of line styles here, right? Line style is here, so I can tap on any particular one and it become like dotted lines, right? Different kind of ones depending on what you're trying to do. Alright, then also the same way you do it for this one, it can work for these ones also. Right, you can do it for any one of them, any particular one, depending on what you're doing at that point in time. Alright, then it doesn't end there. We can also add extensions to these lines. Let's say I want to add an arrow to it. Alright, you can see an arrow at the edge. Different kind of lines. I can change it to look like this. Then behind also, make it look like this, right? Then this particular line now can be converted to an object. Like we said this is an airline, right? I told you airlines that if you increase an airline to an extent, it's going to start looking not bold anymore the more you increase it. Alright, so let's say this is like 3.0. If I keep increasing it, it's going to get thinner. So let's say we want to take this plane from here, right? Simple thing we can do is we'll convert this airline to an object. I've done this severally, so I'm just doing it again to refreshen our brain. So say object, convert outline to object. So immediately this line is now an object. So we can even delete all these other ones that we don't need. And we have a plane. Alright, so the difference between an airline and an object is this. To fill in an object, we use left click, right? So I can give a color to an object using left click. But to give a color to an outline, we are going to use right click instead. Right click. So use right click to tap on the color. You use right click to tap on the color and you would have that. Alright, you would have that. As simple as that. So basically you can even use lines to create object, but depending on the kind of object that we have here. Now if you notice, these lines have like sharp edges, right? Sharp edges. I think I did this in one of our classes, making the line not to have a sharp edge. So this same tools that we have here, there's a more complex one than this one, right? Which is our tool with F12. So if I should tap on F12, F12 on my keyboard while tapping on this key, I'll have something like this, which is the outline pen, right? So you can see here we can change the colors of the outline. You can change the colors of the outline here, and also change how the outline should look like here also. Then if we wanted a rounded cap for the outline, we'll tap here. Then if we want to give it maybe an arrow anywhere, we can tap here also. So the corners or the rounded cap, so I click on OK, you realize that the lines are now circular instead of box like before. So look at the difference. So if I should say I want it like this, and see that it's the same line but different kind of edges, right? So we have the circular one, or this rounded, or you can keep it straight. All right, so we also said that lines can be used to create objects. They can be used to create objects. So let's say I want to draw like a triangle, right? And I don't know where the triangle 2 is. By connecting lines together, we can draw an object. So if I draw a straight line, connect it. Now watch this difference. I can give this one a color, but I can't give this one a color. The reason being that the node is not connected. So if I should connect these nodes together, I don't know if it's connected now. It is not connected. Oh, it's not even connected down here. So when drawing the lines, you make sure that everything you're doing is connected. So you tap again. No. So you make sure that it's the nodes. You are connecting the nodes together. Then you can create a shape using the line tool. Now, apart from the line tools, I introduced to you what we called the rectangle tool, right? Which we've been using so far for all our designs. So you should know how to use it by now. So to draw a box, you can draw a box like this. You can draw a rectangle using it. Whether something like this, whatever you want to draw, that's how you can use the box tool. Now inside of each tool, I told you that there are extra tools, right? Like the 3-point rectangle, whereby you don't need to draw a box. All you need to do is just draw a line, and then you move your hand out and you have a box. So I prefer using the normal rectangle tool. Same with our circle. All right, same with our circle. So let's say we have a circle. All right, so the same way we have a 3-point rectangle, there's also a 3-point ellipse, right? Where you have to just draw a line also and move it out, and it creates a circle for you also. So whatever one you prefer to use, you can use a circle to draw, whether an oval, a rugby kind of shape, whatever one you want to draw. So this is what this circle provides you to do. Now it doesn't end here. Just like the same way we have boxes that can be welded, we can also create circle in this way, where we draw a circle, and you see up here now we have a pie and we have an arc. So if I should click on the pie, it cuts this particular pie out, right? So if I duplicate it now and click on arc, I wouldn't even have anything inside. Now you can manipulate this circle on how it should look like using your shape tool. So if I should come here and move this stuff like this, so the more you move it, I can create like a Pac-Man, right? And the circle will be connected back again. So I can move it. In case the line disappears, check it slowly. You can move it to whatever extent you want, like that. All right, and you can move here like this also, whether you want to create an arc or whatsoever. And you can do it here also, tapping here or here, whatever angle you want to move. All right, using the circle tool. So most of these tools are very, very amazing tools. You just need to check them out. So we can increase the airlines also. So the same way we created dotted lines here, we can also make circles have box, or circles have dotted lines also, just like this. If I say okay, I'll have them. All right, so you can see that the box are A box are like straight lines, so we can also ask those dotted lines in another one to look curved, right? So they will be curved. So if you know how to use all these things, you can apply them in your designs. Guess you already know about the scalloped corner and the chamfered corner, which we created using our shape tool. If you have not grabbed this yet, you can go and check from our previous videos where we converted the box into another kind of shape. So all this and more can be achieved using the box tool. And we said that the box tool can be converted into a curve, right? Ctrl Q, and we can manipulate the box tool into another kind of thing that we want. All right. So which other tool should have any touch? So there is the tool we call the polygon tool, right? The polygon tool. So it's used for drawing polygons. All right. So you know a polygon has 5 sides, so that's why we have 5 sides here. So a person might be like, there is no triangle tool. Well, you can use the polygon and create a triangle, right? You can use a line tool to draw a triangle. You can use a box to create a triangle now, but polygon is more better because when you have the polygon has 5 sides. If you reduce the sides here from 5 to 4, you would have a kite. If you reduce it again, you would have a triangle, and that is the end. All right, but it can keep going upwards. It keeps going upwards. So let's say we make this one 4, make this one 5, make this one 6. All right, so the more you increase them, the more kind of shapes you are able to create. Now as you see these shapes, you'll be able to manipulate them into becoming other thing. Any shape you draw can be manipulated using the shape tool. For example, this triangle, now if I click on it, I will see nodes here. All these stuff are called nodes, like I told you. We can move them and change the triangle into something else, or move it like this and change into something else. All right, just like this. So depending on what you want to actually do, the polygon can be changed into a star and changed to something like this. So just try around it, and even when it's like this, you can still increase it, keep increasing, and you are forming different shapes entirely. Then we now have the star tool on its own that draws a star. Now the star tool can be increased also. Right, it can be increased, and you can reduce how long the rays should come out. You can move it out a bit like this. All right. Then we have here the sharpness of the line. I can increase how sharp it should look like. Then it can also be manipulated, right, by moving it out, in, center, whatsoever, depending on what you're trying to achieve. So you might see something on a design that looks like this. Is to just simply draw a star, and you'll be able to have what they did in the design. Then we have what we call a complex star. So remember what we said, we are doing deeper exploration of the CorelDRAW. Alright, so complex star like this. So it's looking like a triangle that have been worked on. So we can increase it the more, change the sharpness also, and the nodes can be moved around. The nodes can be moved around, right? knowing how to use all these tools here would help you create vector images easily, right? Then we have what we call the impact tool. We don't use it most times, but it's good also when you just draw it like this. So it can be used for like backgrounds. It's kind of heavy most times. So it's just like lines that are connected together. So we have the radial, we have parallel, different kind of ones, depending on what you want at that point in time. So the way to, if you can draw a box, you can do any one that we have here. Just knowing to draw a box, you'll be able to draw any other two that we have here, because they are almost everything here is just drag and drop. Then we have a graph here, so you can explore more of these tools here. So in the graph here, you can see the measurements here, 4 by 3. So if you want, like let's say 20 by 20 instead, you can create a box that have 20 by 20. So this way you can create a simple graph. Alright, so something like this, that's what I'm saying. So whenever you want to use the graph tool, you can change the measurements whatsoever time. You can change the measurements of how the graph should look like. Then now, inside of here, you can see more tools like a spiral tool. So you don't need to really wait for me to like explore CorelDRAW, because most persons don't know like how powerful this software is. If you don't explore it, you won't find out more things about it. So you can increase here to like 10 and draw a spiral shape. So there are two types of spiral shape. The first one, which is symmetrical, and logarithmic spiral. If I should draw here like this, we'll have that kind of spiral. So I'm not giving this one as an assignment. It's just for you to just practice, check out all these tools, try to manipulate them to your own liking. And what are we touching next? Basic shapes. Alright, so when you click on basic shapes here, you can't just draw immediately unless the default one that is here. So we have a lot of basic shapes in here, like the trapezium, this one, right angle triangle, plus, and so on and so forth. So you just tap on any one and you would have something like this. Alright, so you can tap on any one and you can have something like this, like this, like that. So a whole lot of tools in here, a whole lot of tools for you to use. Alright, so you can check them out and select more and use. Then there is the arrow shapes. Same way we picked from here, you can have everything here. Select any one and draw. So there are some presets already there. Then we have flowchart. People that comment on flowchart, the flowchart items, and banner shapes, call out shapes. Alright, so I'll stop there. These other ones might be touched later. You already know how to use the text tool, right? Text tool is for typing. So now we'll do a simple practical, which is we'll combine these shapes to build a simple logo. We'll combine shapes to build a simple logo. So let's say let's go to the next page. Let's say we want to build a logo for IKEA. IKEA, alright. So let's say IKEA is maybe a brand that takes care of the eye. So it's simple way we can do this. Let's say to represent care, let's use the love symbol. So there's a love symbol here already. So if you don't want to download a love symbol outside, you see I will manipulate all this and create like a simple logo using this. So I'm going to like draw how does an eye even look like, Seth? No. Hello? Hi, good afternoon. Yeah. Mm. $115. And that'll be okay. Thank you, thank you. Alright. Alright, let's continue what we're doing. So you can see I just drew a love, and yeah, I have eyes. Alright, I would want to like get color for eye care. Eye brand color. I see almost everybody's using blue, and I was even seeing too much red. Alright, so here we have our eyes. So you can see that basically everything I drew here was just with using circle. So the reason I brought this picture here is because I wanted to copy the color that was used. Yeah, why not start? So just with using the love icon and this, we'll be able to like just create a simple vector. Though like I always say, this is not how we create like a normal logo. So there are a lot of process that goes into designing a logo. Well, we just want to just show you a simple practical example of how.
Sorry, I used to have issue creating a perfect circle. How do you get the round circle inside
When you
the
draw
eye?
a circle, huh? When you draw a circle, there is a measurement tool here. Can you see a measurement tool here? 2.75, 2.75. So if you want to get like a perfect rounded circle, you have to just give it any measure, but don't make sure it's the same size, 3 by 3 whatsoever. If you have gotten that, you can reduce it. You can reduce it like that, and you have gotten simple stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So my light gone off. Maybe this internet will go off. So with combination of this, no, this is not good. Let's put it inside. Be able to create this, right? So with combination of the tools that you have here, you can be able to like create whatever kind of thing you want to create, right? They said exploring the CorelDRAW interface. So we're exploring the CorelDRAW interface. So the CorelDRAW has a user-friendly interface with tools and palettes that facilitate the design process. Understanding the workspace is essential for efficient working. So the CorelDRAW interface is divided into 4 aspects, right? Where we have our toolbox, the color palette, and the header, and then the body, right? So the tools are this side and the color palette are this side. You might have seen them already or get actually conversant with them. So we can customize this page simply by moving these stuffs around, right? So we can move our color out of the page the way they are. Then with view, we can see whatever tool we want to show. We can remove our rulers, remove the guidelines, status bar, and so on and so forth. And you can bring them back. Right, every other thing you need, you can add them back. So you can actually move your color to this place. Alright, you can customize it. As you know, at the beginning of my class, my page color was dark mode, right? So you can change your background to also look this way. Alright, if you don't want it to be dark, click on that setting, appearance. We have medium also. Whatever color mode you feel you want. How big you also want your tools to look like, right? Even also in the dark mode, you can change out the color of, you can say, okay, you don't want to use black, right? You can change this place to be looking like this, to be looking at red, right? It just depends on you and what you really want on your PC while working. So I believe at the beginning of the class I explained most of these tools here. As we go on, you still keep seeing us doing more of them. So we'll be mastering the drawing tools. Alright, so CorelDRAW offers a wide array of drawing tools, including various shapes, lines, curves, and more. Learning how to use this tool is crucial for creating precise design. Alright, so now we'll use the CorelDRAW drawing tools to create intricate shapes, manipulating the lines and curves to explore different settings. Alright, so what I will do is, let me just search for a simple illustration and we'll replicate it. want something that will not really take our time and might be easy on you also. Alright, let's use this. So I'll copy this image and we will recreate it. Alright. One of the most easiest way to learn how to use the curve tool or the shape tool is to like trace over the document you have, because if you want to create your own illustrations, you will have to draw them first off, right? Draw them on a paper, right? But I haven't drawn any illustration here. So if you draw an illustration on the paper, then you can now trace over that illustration, send the illustration to your computer and make it digital. So the first stuff here is what we're going to draw. I think the most simplest thing to draw here is the circle, right? So if you draw a circle like this, so I guess everybody knows how to draw a circle already, so that shouldn't really be a problem. Alright, this is a circle. So I've gotten the first shape. So the next thing is that, okay, you want to get the cloud. So I told you that there are different ways of achieving all this, right? So we can decide to use a box, draw a box, convert to curve, and do all this. Another simpler way, which I think is more better or faster, you can decide to use circles. So if I draw a circle like this, I can duplicate. So most of this illustration will look hard until you start them. So that's why we had to teach you how to draw like the basic shapes, circles, so that when you see stuff like this, you say, okay, I know how to draw a circle. This stuff look like something I can achieve by drawing a circle. So every designer has a different way of attacking a problem. Now, like I said, we are just doing this because we do not have our own illustration that I draw. I'm not an artist. So we can just work on what somebody else already did. So to get better at this, you can find a lot of illustrations like this that you can practice on. Right, so now that we have gotten like the shape, the next thing is that we can hold all the circles together and weld it. So if I click on weld, I've gotten that shape, right? It's nothing of a big deal. So if I have this stuff here that is not important, hold it, delete. So each one of them are done differently, right? So here again is another circle. So the most easiest way to create a cloud is by using circles. You see how I'm checking it to make sure that it is arranged properly, and I weld. Right, now we have this one again. I think they have more than one circle in this one particularly. Right, this one is looking like what is not drawn with a circle. Oh, we could jam am. So if you have been in the class and you say, "Ah, why are we only learning circle, how to draw circles since?" So now you see that only a circle itself can be used to draw something magnificent. Slow and steady. So I'm going to weld them. So we can check out anywhere that is not welded properly. I can simply just move my lines. Using my arrow to arrange it properly. We have our clouds. Then this one should be very easy to create. All right, you can just easily use a polygon, change it to a triangle. All right, so what I will do is I'm going to give this an airline. I will increase the airline to like, let's say 36, and I'll give it a rounded cap so that it can be curved like this, right? As you can see that the stuff is also curved. I think I need to increase my airline. Alright. So like this. We're going to go to object, then convert this outline to an object. Alright. So now it's an object, so I can break it apart, break the curve apart, and I'll weld it together. So now I can duplicate. And see we have our first one. Though it's not that perfect, but please don't hang on me right now. And the final one, which is this one. So before you give colors, that's what you have to do. You have to draw all the shapes completely. So I think if you look at this wave, it is just the same thing they have here. That's what they're repeating in the other ones. Right, to draw a very simple wave, I will just use a simple box. Right, convert the box to a curve, Ctrl Q. Now I can use circle to achieve this also, but we've been making the work so easy using circle. Let's also try add parts. Right, I can easily convert here. So I'll create a node at each edge, so you can see that this one starts from here, why this starts from here also. So I'll tap here, create a node down here, create a node down here, and tap and say to curve. Create another node here, then I can curve this particular part like this. Make sure that it's arranged properly. Then here also will be curved. As easy as that. It's just to create curves. So now that we have this, the only thing I will just do, I will just duplicate it. Let's see. Yeah. Like I said, the waves are the same, so there's no point creating more waves and wasting time. So now I have this. Alright. Now this is basically everything that was done inside here. So let's get like the shape. So you would have to have a box like this also. Alright. So now let's start giving colors. If you want to give colors to this stuff, we can use the color eyedropper to copy the colors exactly that they have here. If I copy this orange, give it this color. My box needs to be down, page down, shift page down. So I can copy this orange, fix it in here, copy the color of the cloud. So the cloud is, you get the actual color. I think the cloud are the same colors. Alright. So for these waves down here, I will have to weld them. So I'll weld them 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go to my weld tool, I weld it. Alright, so I'll copy this one. Alright, so now this triangle and this one together will also be welded. So I can copy the blue that I have here and fill it up. No? Why this one I will fill with the green. So you can see that the green one is at the front and not at the back. Right. So what we can do is that we can bring the blue upwards, right? Tapping on the blue and clicking shift page up, come forward. Now you now have a problem of it being at the front of the purple. So we have to now shift the purple upward, shift page up also. Now if you look closely, we can see the yellow in here. So we can easily solve that issue by just moving here downwards. Alright. So now we have to now check here for any line that is not curved well. So I'll delete any extra nodes. Any extra nodes that I think is not necessary. Right. So now that you're done, we can now remove the airlines, like I told you, the outline. So we can remove the outline of every single one. Just hold them all and say none. You can see that now it's not looking like it. Before, when the outlines were there, it was looking somehow. So when I remove the outlines as none, you can see it's looking just like it. Alright. So now you might say, okay, how am I going to get this one to be inside this? I'm going to to be beside this. It's simple. I've taught you how to power clip already. Alright. So you just have to power clip it inside of this box. So meaning we have to group every of these other items. So we click, 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 group, tap this one, group, tap it with this and this, group it, then tap with the water and group. So if I click delete now, that's gone. Right. So Ctrl Z will bring it back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Ctrl X. So Ctrl X means cut. So if I cut it, Ctrl X, I've cut it. Now I'm going to draw a box. Now this box, I'm going to power clip it inside of this. You should know what power clip is by now. I've done power clip in this class. So I said to power clip, we drag with right click. So if I right click and drag this box in here, you would see power clip inside, right? So power clip it inside of the box. and it goes in. So what do I do next? I'm going to go inside and edit it. So to do that, we right click and I say edit power clip, right? So edit power clip takes me inside of this box. Then I can delete this one and paste everything. So Ctrl V, I paste what I copied. Sorry. Then I finish editing power clip. So that way you are done. So this is their sample, and this is what we were able to create. Alright. So if you look closely now, you see that it has like kind of like dots filling. So we can do something now. Watch this. I'm going to duplicate this image into 2. I've deleted their own, so we just have only our own here. So now this particular one, I'm going to convert it to a bitmap so that we can explore other tools here. So if I convert this stuff to a bitmap, so a bitmap means converting a vector to like a picture format, right? So if I click bitmap, convert to bitmap, it's going to show you 300 dpi and RGB color, uncompressed file size. So you click OK, right? So currently this is a picture and this is a vector image. See the difference? This one cannot have a color, right? So this is a picture and this is the vector image. So now this one, I can now give it some bitmap effect. So if I go to my bitmap, I can come down and say 3D effects, which are here. I don't really want these things, but let me just show you what they do. So a 3D effect like this, where I can change the color. Right, so if you want to do something like that, maybe you're creating a mock-up, but I don't want to do that, so I'm just cancelling it. So inside of bitmap, you find a lot of effects. That is when you have converted a design to bitmap, right? Something like this also. So I'm not saving any of that. I'm just showing you what they have here, like a 3D effect. So let's say original color. So they make it look like 3D and stuff like that. But that is not what I'm looking for. So we still have what we call the art stroke, right? So we can change this stuff now from looking like this to maybe let's say charcoal. So these effects most times they take time. See that? So there's a lot of them, like camera, like blur. If I want to blur this image, I can blur them also. So all these effects work mainly for bitmap images, right? Like pictures. So we can blur it also. Now let me just go back to what I want to create noise. So if I add noise to this, and select this orange and make a darker one. So look at it. If I go closer, you see some like dusty noise, dusty particle. So everything we did here now is just done by using a circle and box, triangles. So you can create illustrations like this using simple stuff like pen tool whatsoever, using whatever, and you can draw almost everything here. Only that the more one you decide to draw, the longer it takes, right? The longer it takes. So that's why I decided to go for like a simple one, so that you guys can be able to like maybe try to recreate this this one also can be done simply, right? Everything you're seeing here can be done simply. We don't have enough time. We don't want to do another one again. So the best way to learn is by doing. So that's why we have been doing all this all through today. So let's do one more illustration. Something that wouldn't really take our time. We have less time to go. Let's try this out. We have done a simple one. Let's try. So you can see the power of these tools. Alright, so we can start from like basically the most simplest part, which is drawing a full box. Right, so when you draw the box, you move it upwards. So I like to use box mainly because it's easier for manipulation. So if I convert this box to a curve by Ctrl Q, I have to go to my shape tool. Right, so now you look at the image. Let's say you are the one that sketched this. Right, you sketch this image by yourself. I want to like make it digitally. You have to create nodes. Right, create nodes. There's something we call nodes. These edges are called nodes. So you are able to create extra nodes by double tapping. So if I double tap, I can create another node. Now I can move here downwards, right? Move here upwards. So I'm going to create all the nodes I need already before even starting to try to recreate what they have there. Alright, so now here is a bit curved, so I've make a node here that's facing here. So I'm going to tap and say to curve, then I'll bend it this way and come here also and curve here also. Right, then click also this place and say to curve this way, and it curves. So I want to move here downwards, and we move here also to curve like this. So that way you have created the first aspect, right? It might look so complex, but you just need to start it first. So our advice, if you want to practice your own kind of, if you're good with drawing, you can draw some things on your paper or your sketch pad, then send to your PC. Then you can use tools like this and bring it to life. And let's see, maybe that might be your own niche, where you might choose to be an illustrator. But it comes in handy as a designer to be able to create stuff like this. So Ctrl Q again. So I wouldn't really need to curve this up again. It will be so much stress. Since I already have the curve here, just to shift page up. Alright, I have the shape already. So what I'm going to do next here is just create this small shape here. Ctrl Q and create all the necessary nodes that's needed. So I will curve here also to curve. And I think here is just straight, and here is a bit curved, so that is okay. I'll page it up also. So you see now if I give these two colors, you see that the shape is already taking space. So there's no need covering that other box. There's no point doing that. So I'll just plus copy it. So this one should go up, I think. So the only aspect we are covering here is downwards. I see that this picture now is not high resolution. It's not even showing well already. So meaning that basically I wouldn't need to like curve this downward, right? Because it's the same curve. Just page it up. Alright. So now the next things we have to face on drawing are the pictures of the people, right? And we have, let me try using circle to see if I can get this box. Alright, I've gotten that circle. Ctrl C. I'll just Ctrl D it. It's down. Yeah. So we don't need to curve anything here. So I just did box all through, circle all through. So here is like a box for the neck. So here you can draw a box completely. So with only this box, I'm going to finish the whole body. Right, with only this box alone. So I'm going to move here upwards to where this body is. Okay. So let's create another node. Like I said, you need to keep creating nodes at each section of the subject that you're creating. Fill it here like this. Then we can move here downwards. move here like this. I think we've basically finished the body. I'm going to weld it together with this. So in case you're not seeing your what you're drawing, you can give the lines a different color. Increase it so that you see what you're actually doing. Alright, so we are going to curve this area. Time is almost up. I think I'm going to stop with only this lady. I'm not doing the others. So let me get the body structure properly to curve. I think this part is also curved a bit. If I want to curve here, I have to tap here and say to curve also. That's how I move all the body. Then if I want, yeah. Then I can now create this clothes that is on top of this lady by drawing drawing a box like this. So Ctrl Q, I move here to this point. Gary. Before, if you want to invite guests, tell them the question you ask them. For your mind, then they tell those clients what they discuss about. Bro, even though you want to chat, you tell the person what you want to chat about. Now, so unknowledgeable you talk. So nobody you go talk. Where do you bring this guy in a fool inside? Because you are dumb, that's why.
I don't know sent you the design.
Bro, I'm busy.
You think so that design I never sent them to her. I didn't say the woman won't ask me.
Please, I'm busy, don't distress me.
You say make I give them the whole question what I want to ask her. Then the element of the chart no go take there again. Maybe understand. Maybe understand. The element of the chart, something say you just buy natural.
But element.
You really like scripts, like maybe something to
Leave out. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. I'm not. Should I place that bag? No, I'm not placing any bag anymore. Fake with the expression. This boy, So you say, I wish I need to waste my strength giving this boy advice. And then he could still come with me, say, make I help and push one or two things. So I'll copy this one also. I didn't hear you. Why they didn't write on there? They make me they apply for not. You see, I get that data. So if I remove all my airlines now, you appreciate it better. I think I don't like this hand that is up here also. So I'm going to bring this cap to cover it. Change our own style. So if we want, we can go the extra mile, because if you look at this stuff, it's looking like two colors, right? So I can click on FN and F11 and mix up the color. I think they have a color here, and this other pink is kind of different. Let's just leave everything outside. I don't want to power clip inside. So if you have enough time, you can finish the rest of the illustration. So we'll just stop it here. The table. So most of these illustrations might look very, very hard, but until you start creating them, then you realize that it is not really as complex as you thought it was. I'm going to do the same thing I did for the previous one. Make it into a bitmap. Then bitmap, we'll add noise to it. Let's see, let me change the noise. Let's use like so whenever you want to duplicate to add noise, make sure you make an extra copy. If not, once you convert it, it's converted. So I will export the two, right? So I'm exporting this one first. This was day 5. We'll call it vector designs. So you just try your best to like carry this out. When you export, you'll be able to like save it. Now send to your WhatsApp group.